Out on bail, Mariah drives Tessa down and also faces the fury of Abby. Today on Young and Restless, Danny examines his son about his passions, Mariah is released on bail, and Tessa leans on Daniel. Frustrated Billy walked out on Sally, and Kyle and Audra kissed on Valentine's Day at the Chancellor estate. Tessa leverages Abby and tells her and Devon how happy she's that everyone is safe. Dom seems to be fine and is playing with his toys. They've to remind themselves he's back and safe. Tessa is sure that Mariah hates what she's put them through. Devon is sorry about what this has done to them. Tessa is sure that Ian's return caused this entire mess. Abby blames the clinic for failing. They should have forced Mariah to stay. She's not convinced Mariah can come back from any of this. Tessa is sure Mariah is ill, not evil. Devon is sure that if she does the work, she can get better. Abby asks Tessa if she's upset to let her woman around Aria. That makes Tessa leap. Abby apologizes but Tessa understands. Mariah hasn't been herself for a long time. They assure her none of this is her fault. Abby warns that if she finds out her son is burying trauma, she won't be suitable to get past what Mariah has done. Once Tessa leaves, Abby says she's trying to be generous to Mariah because she knows she's not well but she took their son. She knows she checked herself into a clinic, but she didn't tell anyone what was really passing. Perhaps she's not responsible, but she shouldn't be allowed to do this to another child. She scarified their son and made him call her mammy. Easily her passions for him no way changed. Allowing of this fills her with rage. He knows they couldn't be angry before because they had to stay focused. She starts to worry their son has been scarred ever. Devon assures her their son will get all the help he needs to grow up happy and healthy. At Crimson Lights, Sharon thanks Christine for getting Mariah bail. The council says that Mariah's honesty at the Hale made it possible, but she'll have to wear an ankle examiner. Sharon is sure her son understands and isn't going anywhere. This isn't right at all. Mariah declares. Christine is induced they can stick with the not shamefaced plea and ask for remedy rather than incarceration. Mariah wants to change her plea. Christine and Sharon try talking her out of it. Mariah insists she knew what she was doing the entire time and knew it was wrong. She did it because she wanted to feel whole. Her mama asks what went wrong. Mariah explains that everything Ian did was her fault. She explains that she went down and ran into a man who reminded her of Ian. She tried to kill him to drop him from her life but couldn't do it. That's why she checked herself into the clinic. She started to see Ian again. When she was alone, he appeared to say she'd no way be alone. Is he then now? Sharon asks. Mariah says he faded. Crying, she says he sounded so real. No matter how important she tried to shut him out, he was in her head and took all the answers with him. She doesn't know how to live with what she's done. Her mama insists this was all just PTSD. They will find her the right platoon to get her the treatment she needs. Tessa arrives. The women are left alone. Mariah is sure she hates her. Tessa hates that she has been in so important pain. They bandy their son and Tessa says she's been perfect and strong. All of her mileposts have been met and she's talking so much. There's still so important to come. Mariah asks if Daniel has been watching out for her as she asked. Tessa says he's been an awful friend. Her woman thinks she deserves musketeers and fun, not chaos like her. She urges her to move on and admits her mama formally told her about the divorce. Tessa is sure she still needs her. Choking up, she admits everything she says hurts her. She walks out. At the GCAC, Daniel and his father bandy the situation with Mariah. Daniel explains that Tessa has filed for divorce. His father prodiges if that's what drove Mariah off the rails. Daniel makes defenses for Tessa. His father can see that he and Tessa have come much closer. He thinks his passions matter and wants to know he's okay. Danny knows he's been impacted by an incredibly complicated situation. Daniel thinks he's the least important part of what's happened. He wasn't awaiting any of this. He likes who he is and how he feels with Tessa. She feels the same. He's sure that Mariah needs help and that means she needs Tessa. He can't imagine her just walking down from her. His father asks if he thinks Mariah might now be willing to let Tessa back by. He tells his son it's not selfish to wonder these effects. Daniel assures him he's not going to fall piecemeal if he loses Tessa. Talking about it won't help. His pater fills him in on his honeymoon until Christine joins them. She explains Mariah got bail and her woman is with her now. Daniel takes off. Danny and his bridegroom catch up and she admits Mariah needs help. It's clear she doesn't want to beget anyone more pain. Danny says this is all a tragedy. He's upset about his son. Daniel has fallen in love. Tessa meets Daniel outside of society. He holds her as she sobs. She doesn't know what to do. He says they can figure it out together. Sharon brings Mariah to the Chancellor estate. Abby doesn't know how she can be there. Sharon announces she was released into her care. Her son wanted to see them herself. Abby thinks she should have advised her against this. Mariah says she had to come and apologize. Abby says this was further than a mistake. Refusing to make defenses for herself, Mariah insists Dom was no way in peril. She could see how important he loves his parents and that's beautiful. Perhaps it's too important to ask, but she hopes Abby will forgive her one day. That doesn't go over well. Abby wants her out and no way wants her around her son again. The Young and the Restless had a tough episode. It was about Mariah Copeland. What happened after she had a big breakdown? This breakdown caused a lot of problems in Genoa City. People are really. It feels like things will never be the same. Mariah Copeland was having some health issues and it got worse and worse. Now Mariah Copeland is dealing with a custody problem. Mariah Copeland's actions also caused problems in some marriages. The people who thought of each other as family do not trust each other like they used to. Now that Mariah Copeland is out on bail, she has to deal with what she did. The Young and the Restless is showing what happens when Mariah Copeland has to face the problems she caused. It is an emotional time for Mariah Copeland and the people around her. The episode starts at the Chancellor estate, which is really quiet and fancy, but it does not feel peaceful. Tessa Porter is standing in the living room trying to look strong. She does not really feel that way. Abby Newman Abbott Chancellor and Devon Winters are close by. They look very tired, but they are trying to protect their son Dominic, who is playing on the floor with some toy cars. Dominic seems okay, he is having fun, but the grown-ups know that sometimes bad things can happen to kids and you cannot always tell right away. Sometimes the bad things wait to show up. The Chancellor estate is still and quiet. Tessa Porter and the others are waiting to see what will happen to Dominic. Tessa feels really relieved that everyone is okay. Her voice is shaking even though she is trying to stay calm. She tells Abby and Devon that she is very thankful that Dom is home with them. Tessa says that Mariah never meant to hurt anyone. When she says this, Abby gets upset. For Abby, it does not matter what Mariah was thinking. What matters to her is that Mariah took her son away. What matters is that Dominic was very confused and someone else was pretending to be his mom. Devon is trying to make things better between them. He knows that things are really bad. He still thinks that Mariah can get better with some help. Abby is very upset. It shows. She is angry with the clinic because they let Mariah go home early. She is also angry with herself because she did not see that something was wrong with Mariah. And down Abby is angry with Mariah because Mariah did not take care of her child's feelings. Mariah was only thinking about herself and trying to feel whole again. The emotional safety of her child was not important to Mariah. When Abby asks Tessa if she is comfortable with Mariah being around Aria, it feels like a punch. Tessa gets upset. This is not something Abby is saying to be mean. It is something Tessa is really scared of. Abby says sorry for being so harsh. It is too late. Tessa says Mariah has not been Mariah for a time. She says her wife Mariah is not a bad person. Even Tessa cannot make herself stop wondering if this is really true about Mariah. After Tessa leaves, Abby finally lets out all the anger she has been keeping inside. She talks about how terrible it was to find out that Dominic had been taken away. Abby remembers the pain of hearing that her son was calling another woman mommy. The memory of that word still hurts her a lot. She knows that Mariah went to a clinic to get some help. Mariah did not tell anyone what was really going on in her mind. Abby says that even if Mariah is not in trouble with the law, she still thinks that Mariah should not be around another kid because Abby does not think Mariah can be trusted with children, like Dominic. Devon holds her tight as she starts to cry, saying that Dominic will get some help, saying that their son will be okay and have a life. Then Abby says something that really worries her. What if this hurts their son for his whole life? Devon wants to make sure their son is happy and safe, so she tells Abby that Dominic will get counseling and their son will grow up to be healthy and secure. But Abby is still scared. She thinks that this might scar their son forever. At Crimson Lights, Sharon Newman is sitting next to her daughter. She is feeling grateful. She is also being careful. Christine Williams is telling them about the rules for Mariah's release. Asterisk Mariah has to wear an ankle monitor. Asterisk she has to follow the rules closely. Christine says that if Mariah does all these things she can stay out of prison. Sharon Newman is thanking Christine Williams for working hard to help Mariah. Christine Williams thinks that Mariah should get help of going to prison. She believes this because Mariah was honest at the hearing. Christine Williams thinks they can still make a case for Mariah to get treatment, which is better than going to prison. Sharon Newman and her daughter Mariah are hoping that Christine Williams can make this happen for Mariah. Mariah does something that really surprises them. She shocks them both at the time. What Mariah does is completely unexpected to them. Mariah shocks them both. This is not right, she says. Her voice sounds empty. She is determined. She wants to change her plea to something. She wants to change her plea. Christine and Sharon do not agree with this away. If Mariah says she is guilty, she could go to jail. Mariah is sure that she knew what she was doing was not right. Mariah did it anyway because she felt like she had to. Mariah says that she feels empty inside, like something important was taken from her a long time ago. Mariah explains that all of her problems started with Ian Ward, the leader of a cult who used to control her mind. Even though Ian Ward is not around anymore, Mariah can still hear his voice in her head. Ian Ward is still affecting Mariah even after he is gone. Mariah is still dealing with the things that Ian Ward did to her. Mariah remembers this one time she ran into a guy who looked like Ian. It was really weird. It made her feel bad inside. She started following the guy. Mariah thought about doing something to him so she could stop thinking about things that bothered her. She did not do it. And that made her feel even worse. Mariah started seeing Ian when she was by herself. She would hear Ian talking to her. She would see him standing there. When Mariah was alone, Ian would show up. Whisper to her that she would never be alone. Ian would tell her that he would always be there to help her, Mariah. Sharon is really upset. She cannot believe what she is hearing. She asks in a voice, "Is he here now?" Mariah shakes her head. She says that Mariah thinks he faded away. Mariah is talking about him. Mariah says he faded. Then she said that the voice felt real to her. The voice felt very powerful. No matter how hard she tried to stop thinking about him, the voice of the man was always on her mind. She does not know how to live with what she has done to the people around her and what the voice of the man made her do. Sharon does not want her daughter to feel guilty all the time. She thinks that what her daughter is going through is post-traumatic stress disorder. Sharon knows that bad things that happen to you can stay with you for a time. You do not just forget about them because some time has passed. Sharon is sure that they will find the right people to help her daughter. They will find the doctors and the right treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder. Tessa walks into the room quietly. You can feel the air get heavy. Christine and Sharon do not say a word, they just give Tessa some space. Mariah looks at her wife with a lot of sadness. She says to her wife, "You must really hate me now." Tessa shakes her head away. She does not like that Mariah had to go through much pain by herself and did not let Tessa help her. Tessa tells Mariah about Aria. She says Aria is very strong. Aria is doing everything she is supposed to do. Aria talks all the time now. When Tessa talks about Aria, her voice is full of pride. This makes Mariah feel even worse about what happened with Aria and her own pain. Tessa talks about Aria some more. Mariah wants to know if Daniel has been there for her like she asked him to before everything fell apart. Tessa says yes, he is a friend. Then Mariah says something that really upsets Tessa. Mariah says she deserves to be happy. She deserves to have friends who care about her. She deserves to have a life. Not a life that is totally crazy. Sharon had already told Mariah about the divorce. This is what is bothering Tessa. Tessa is trying not to cry. She says she still needs her wife Mariah. Every single thing Mariah says to Tessa feels like Mariah is saying goodbye to her. Tessa cannot handle this situation. So Tessa gets up, walks out of the room. At the Genoa City Athletic Club, Daniel Romalotti is trying to figure out what is going on with his father, Danny Romalotti. Daniel Romalotti tells his father that Tessa has filed for divorce from Daniel Romalotti. Danny Romalotti asks if that is what made Mariah so upset. Daniel Romalotti sticks up for Tessa, saying she did all she could do. Then Danny Romalotti asks Daniel Romalotti if he has feelings for Tessa that go beyond being friends with Tessa. Daniel does not deny it. He likes the person he is when he is with her. He feels steady and seen and connected. He says this is not about him. Mariah needs help. Mariah really needs help. The help Mariah needs might require Tessa. He does not think Tessa will completely abandon Mariah. Danny tells his son that it is okay to think about what his own heart wants. His son Daniel does not want to listen. Daniel says that talking about this will not make any difference. Danny wants his son to understand that the heart of his son, Daniel, is important. Christine gets there. Tells them that Mariah is out on bail and she is with Tessa. So Daniel decides to go and look for Mariah away. Outside society, Daniel finds Tessa crying hard. He puts his arms around Tessa. Tessa says she does not know what to do. Daniel tells Tessa that Daniel and Tessa will figure it out together. The way Daniel and Tessa feel about each other is really clear. It is also very complicated. Sharon takes Mariah to the Chancellor estate on. When Abby sees Mariah, she is really surprised. Sharon says that Mariah wanted to come to the Chancellor estate to say sorry in person. She really wanted Mariah to apologize to Abby, so Mariah is at the Chancellor estate to do that. Abby is ice cold. Mariah does not defend herself. She says that Dominic was never in danger. Mariah saw how much Dominic loves his parents. Mariah never intended to replace his parents, she only wanted to feel something again, to feel something whole. Abby really loses her temper. This was not something that went wrong. This was something that should not have happened. Abby did something wrong and it was a big deal. Abby made a mistake that was not okay. Mariah wants to be forgiven even if it is not today. Abby tells Mariah to leave. Her response is very firm. Mariah has to go. Mariah should never come near Abby's son again. The last thing you see is Mariah's face all broken as Sharon takes her away. The fight in court is just starting. Mariah will have to go to therapy for a long time. The marriages of the people involved may not make it through this. The bad things that happened have already hurt every single person who was involved in this situation, and that hurt will stay with them forever in every heart of the people who care about Mariah and Sharon. The Young and the Restless is known for this. The storyline does not give answers. It deals with illness in a real way. It does not make mental illness look pretty or exciting. The Young and the Restless shows that trauma can keep happening over and over. Trauma can take over your life. The Young and the Restless also shows that love and anger can happen at the time. Forgiveness does not happen away. The Young and the Restless makes it clear that to heal you have to be honest with yourself and others, even if it is very hard. The people of Genoa City are getting ready for what's going to happen next. There will be court hearings and people will be worried about who gets to take care of the kids. There will also be problems. The big question is, can Mariah really recover from this? Has Mariah made people so angry that they will never forgive her? Mariah has caused a lot of trouble. It is not clear if Mariah can fix things. One thing is certain. Nothing in these families will ever be the same again. The emotional dust is settling down. Now the problems in every relationship are easy to see. Sharon is still very protective of Mariah. Even Sharon knows that loving someone no matter what they do does not mean they do not have to face the consequences. Sharon starts looking into programs that help people who have been through a lot of trauma. She wants to find doctors who understand what happens when someone like Ian hurts you for a long time. For Sharon, this is not about staying out of jail. It is about saving Mariah's life. Sharon wants to help Mariah because Mariah is her daughter and she loves her much. Sharon knows that Mariah needs help to deal with what Ian did to her. At the Chancellor estate, Abby does not want to think about her reaction. To Abby, setting limits is not being mean. It is the way to stay safe. Devon starts setting up therapy sessions for Dominic without telling him, because Devon does not want to ignore the hurt that Dominic might be feeling inside. Even though Dominic seems happy, both Abby and Devon know that kids can feel scared in ways that grown-ups do not always understand. Tessa is standing at a crossroads now. Her heart is still with Mariah. She is really tired. Daniel is always there for her. That feels nice, but it also makes things more complicated. Tessa does not want to stop thinking about Mariah and then start thinking about Daniel and have another problem to deal with. Tessa is worried about her feelings for Mariah and Daniel. In the coming days on The Young and the Restless, court dates will loom, loyalties will be tested, and the painful process of accountability will begin. Whether forgiveness is possible remains uncertain, but the fight for healing has only just begun.